Bonjour à tous, bienvenue. Welcome to another tutorial by Madame Caro. Today we're going to be talking about les verbes pronominaux et les verbes réfléchis aussi, spécifiquement au négatif et à l'interrogatif. So, talking about pronominal verbs and reflexive verbs in the negative and also in questions. Révisons. Pronominal verbs and reflexive verbs always include se before the infinitive in French. So here we have a list of 4 verbs that are not reflexive. And we've seen them before. Laver, to wash. Regarder, to look at. Voir, to see. Mettre, to put. When we see these verbs with se before them, they change slightly. So from laver to se laver. Laver, to wash something else. Par exemple, je lave la voiture. Se laver is to wash oneself, so it becomes reflexive. Se laver, je me lave. Regarder, to look at. Se regarder becomes reflexive, to look at oneself. Je me regarde dans la glace. Right? I look at myself in the mirror. Voir, to see. Se voir means that we see each other. Nous nous voyons à l'église, right? We see each other at church. So se voir becomes a pronominal verb. And mettre, to put, when it is reflexive, se mettre à actually is an expression that means to begin. So it's a synonym avec with commencer. Se mettre à, je me mets à pleurer, right? I begin to cry, right? Se mettre à. An expression that means to begin something. Continuons à réviser. When conjugated, the pronoun se from the infinitive must change to agree with the subject. Par exemple, je me brosse les dents. Yeah? So the se in se brosser in the infinitive becomes me to agree with je, the subject. Je me brosse les dents. 2. Tu te regardes dans la glace. Te pour tu. Marc se douche le matin et sa sœur se douche le soir. Marc se douche. So for the third person, it stays exactly the same as the infinitive and it stays se. Mes amis et moi, nous nous mettons à faire les devoirs après l'école. My friends and I, we started, right? Nous nous mettons à to do our homework after school. Ta sœur et toi, vous vous couchez tard le week-end, right? So your sister and you, you go to bed late on the weekends, vous vous couchez. Et les filles se maquillent souvent, girls put on makeup often. So les filles se maquillent, again that third person is going to stay exactly the same as the infinitive with se. On continue. Les verbes pronominaux au négatif. So when we want to use these verbs in the negative, note the placement of ne pas and our negative expressions. Le soir, mon frère ne se brosse pas les dents. Yeah? Ne pas goes around both parts of our pronominal verbs. So ne will always come first, then your pronoun me, te, nous, vous, se, then your verb brosse, peigner, maquiller, etc. And then pas. So, le soir, mon frère ne se brosse pas les dents. Je ne me douche pas le matin, je me douche le soir. Yeah, so I don't take a shower in the mornings, I take a shower in the evening. Je ne me douche pas le matin. Ne before your pronoun, pas after your verb. Mes parents ne se réveillent jamais avant moi. My parents never get up before me. Mes parents ne first. Se, pronoun. Rêver, conjugated verb. Jamais, never, right? One of our negative statements. Avant moi. Avant moi. Mon frère et moi, nous ne nous préparons plus au même temps. Yeah, so my brother and I, we no longer get ready at the same time. Ne plus, no longer. Notice, ne comes before our pronoun nous, and plus, our negative expression, comes after our conjugated verb. Mon frère et moi, nous ne nous préparons plus au même temps. Pratiquons. Complete the sentence with the negative of the verb in parentheses. You can use ne pas for each of these. So press pause. Write down these sentences to practice. Don't forget where you're going to put ne pas, right? Ne first, pas after your conjugated verb. Don't forget to change that pronoun to agree with the subject and to still conjugate your verb. So press pause, write down these sentences, and then press play and we'll go through the answers together. Numéro 1, se raser, se raser. Le sujet, mon petit frère. So mon petit frère, to make it negative, we're going to start with ne. Our se does not need to change because it is third person. Rase, take off our er and add e, and then pas. Mon petit frère ne se rase pas encore. My little brother doesn't shave yet. De se préparer, to get ready. Moi, je, toujours avec ne au négatif, se change à me, et puis préparer, on enlève er et ajoute e, et puis pas. Moi, je ne me prépare pas jusqu'à 6h15 du matin. Right? I don't get ready until 6:15 in the morning. Je ne me prépare pas. 3. S'habiller, s'habiller, to get dressed. Les garçons, always going to start with that ne for the negative. Our S does not need to change, but our habille needs to add ENT at the end. Les garçons ne s'habillent pas avant de se raser. 4. Nous ne nous brossons pas les dents avant de manger. Nous ne nous brossons pas. Ne will come first, then our pronoun nous. Brossons, make sure to conjugate your verb for the new form, and then pas at the end. Et 5. Tu ne te peignes pas les cheveux. Peigne avec ES. Tu ne te peignes pas les cheveux. Right? You don't comb your hair. Tu ne te peignes pas les cheveux. Les verbes pronominaux à l'interrogatif. Yeah, so when using pronominal verbs in inverted questions, the pronoun will still go directly before the verb. Par exemple, te brosses-tu les dents le matin et le soir? Te brosses-tu? Our subject pronoun to is still going to be tacked on to the end of our conjugated verb, but our pronominal pronoun, our te, is going to come before the verb, toujours. Te brosses-tu les dents le matin et le soir? Do you brush your teeth in the mornings and in the evenings? 2. Vous rasez-vous tous les matins? So vous, the subject pronoun, goes after the verb raser, but vous, the pronoun is going to go before your verb. Vous rasez-vous tous les matins? Do you shave every morning? Matteo et Antoine se peignent-ils avant de faire du skate? Remember that when we have a noun, comme Matteo et Antoine, we have to start the question, and then we just tack our subject pronoun on to the very end so we can see our hyphen il. Se, still going to come before our verb. Matteo et Antoine se peignent-ils avant de faire du skate? Mireille se lave-t-elle souvent la figure? So, as with Matteo et Antoine, Mireille is a name, so we're going to start with Mireille, and we're going to add L to the end of love. But we cannot say lave-elle. No, désolé. We have to add that T for pronunciation purposes. Mireille se lave-t-elle souvent la figure? Et la dernière, à quelle heure te prépares-tu le matin? When we use our question words, they're still going to go at the very beginning of the question, then our pronoun, then our conjugated verb, hyphen, subject pronoun, and then the rest of the sentence. À quelle heure te prépares-tu le matin? At what time do you get ready in the morning? Pratiquons. Write inverted questions using the following clues. So I did a model, an example, a model for you. So, for example, the question word is quand. Your subject is going to be tu. And then your verb phrase is se brosser les dents. We're always going to start with that question word. So, quand. And then se brosser les dents. Se has to change to te because tu is our subject. And tu is going to get tacked on to the end of that conjugated verb. So, quand te brosses-tu les dents? So 1 through 4, press pause. I encourage you to write these out in your notes. Once you're done, press play. We'll go through the answers together. Numéro 1, pourquoi? Always going to start with our question word. And our verb is se laver, but our subject is tu. So our se needs to change to te, and our tu, our subject pronoun, gets tacked on to the end of our conjugated verb. Pourquoi te laves-tu les mains? les mains après avoir utilisé les toilettes? Why do you wash your hands after using the bathroom? Pourquoi te laves-tu les mains? So pourquoi, our question word starts our question, then our pronoun te, and then our conjugated verb hyphen subject pronoun, laves-tu for inverted question, les mains. Pourquoi te laves-tu les mains après avoir utilisé les toilettes? Numéro 2, quand, start with our question word, and then se raser needs to change to vous rasez. Quand vous rasez-vous la figure? So that vous, the subject pronoun, is going to get tacked onto the end of our conjugated verb. This vous right here is from our reflexive verb. Quand vous rasez-vous la figure? 3. À quelle heure nous préparons-nous? À quelle heure, starting with our question word, our subject pronoun is going to go to the end of our conjugated verb, and this needs to change to nous to agree with our subject. À quelle heure nous préparons-nous? Et 4. Avec quoi? Pierre is a name, it's a noun, so we need to keep it at the beginning. Avec quoi Pierre se réveille-t-il le matin? And we need to add this hyphen T hyphen il at the end for our inverted question for Pierre. Avec quoi Pierre se réveille-t-il le matin? So, with what does Pierre get up in the morning? Pierre se réveille avec un réveil, and he gets up with an alarm clock. Peut-être. Avec quoi Pierre se réveille-t-il le matin? Merci beaucoup. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. I hope that this helped you understand how to use those pesky reflexive verbs in the negative as well as with inverted questions. Merci encore. Au revoir.